Alrighty, Lotte for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new deck profile this time around. And I know it's been a while since I've done one, but we got Danians. This is a kind of like Danian composty hive spam, I don't know what to call it, deck. So Danians, as you guys already know, is my least favorite tribe. And that's mostly because as a kid I never understood their mechanics fully. And it drove me nuts trying to play the deck. So I basically, back then, I gave up on trying to learn the mechanics and just treated the deck as a high energy elementalist deck for the longest time. I think my original like Danian deck profile on my main channel even was still focused around just the elements and stuff. If I ever did one, I don't remember if I did or not, darn it. But now that I'm older and I can actually understand the mechanics, I tried my best to come up with a version of the deck that actually utilizes like the hive and infection mechanic kind of thing. So this is my attempt at a Danian deck. I've been pretty happy about it. Normally I would put it up on TCO and see what people think, but TCO kind of went kaput, so yeah, let's get on with this. First and foremost, for up front, I have Nequin. Nequin seems like a pretty good combator, fighter to me. He's got high energy, pretty good stats all around, air and water. And then the big thing is that if he's unequipped, he gets Water 5 and untargetable, which is really appealing to me because then, if to destroy his battle gear, I get an untargetable Water 5 beast. Speaking of his battle gear that I've chosen for him is the Citadel Lodestone and give him Earth. Most of my attacks are Earth oriented, so I kind of need him to have Earth. Up front as well, I have Machinaz, another really good fighter, fire and earth for him, pretty good stats all around, but the big thing is that if he does die, which he probably will in all honesty, all my Mandiblores get 15 energy while he's in the graveyard, which is really, really, really good. Just a bonus 15 for everybody, I really like that. I mean, it's not everybody, but almost everybody, let's be honest, because more energy for all the Mandiblores, which is pretty cool. So yeah, 15 bonus energy to the Mandiblores. I tried to make a Harry Potter joke there, but it didn't work, but oh well. Now, because he is kind of a suicide bomber here, I have him equipped with the Danian Carapace. This has always been one of my favorite battle gear ever since I was a kid, because it's just such a good way to get rid of battle gear that your opponent has. So basically, the equipped creature with the Danian Carapace, if it battles an uninfected monster, that monster becomes infected. Then, if the equipped creature would die, the Danian Carapace destroys the battle gear equipped to the opposing creature and equips onto it. And so basically this thing just doesn't go away, and I love it because, now just everything gets more infected. And it just trolls your opponent so much and gets more and more creatures infected, which you kind of want to have. Next up, we got up front Hierodrome. Hierodrome looked, I honestly didn't know this card existed, and I was going through bulk just sorting it, and I'm like, oh, that seems really good. So Hierodrome here, he's a Mandiblore, so he gets the 15 energy if Machinaz dies, and he's got pretty good stats all around from the looks of it. One Mugic counter, which is pretty handy. I don't know if anybody else, okay, yeah, Nequin has a Mugic counter. And basically, while Hive is active, Hierodrome gets another 15 energy and the opposing creature loses 15 energy, which is a lot. And of course he has Earth and Water, which is pretty great. And attached to him, because he's up front, I have another Danian Carapace, just to really be able to focus on that infecting kind of thing even more. So really good card overall, along with, of course, another really good battle gear. Moving on to the middle row, I got Main. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not entirely for sure, but I believe I am. Main is a really obnoxious creature and always kind of been one of my favorites. He's got 55 base energy. I think that's his max. I might be wrong. Air, earth, and water. And of course, he's one of the easiest Danians to get, being in the Alliances Unraveled structure deck. Decent stats all around, but the big thing with main is the longer the battle draws out, the more powerful he gets. With every creature in the discard pile, he gets 5 additional energy and 5 to all stats. Really, really good. Oh wait, no, it's just all, okay, so it's just energy. I thought he got 5 energy, I thought he got 5 additional stat lines, but ignore me. So he's got 5 additional energy for every creature in the discard pile, which of course, as the game drags on, is just gonna get more and more. In addition to that, he's a Mandibular, so that means if Machinaz is in the graveyard, he gets another 15. So just off of Machinaz being in the graveyard, he gets plus 20 energy, putting him at 75, which is scary. On top of that, I gave him the Evergreen Tunic, because mine happens to have 85 courage, so that means he gets another additional, let's see here, 20 energy. So with Machinaz in the graveyard, if main were to battle right then and there, he'd have an additional plus 40 energy, putting him at 95 energy, which means he ain't dying for a long while, and that is really hilarious, and I love it. Moving on. I got Alexia, the Danian Queen. Alexia is just a really good beast of a card overall. She's got 2 Mugic counters, Earth, 50 energy, and then she's got so much text and I gotta read off of it. So, adjacent creatures gain Defender. When a Mandibular or infected creature is placed in a discard pile, Alexia gains a Mugic counter. So she's gonna be getting a lot of Mugic counters very easily. You can use a Mugic counter to activate Hive until the end of the turn, and then while Hive is active, Mugic counters on Alexia count as Mandibulars you control, which is pretty beast and can just skyrocket for certain things, and I love that. Very cool card overall, absolutely phenomenal. And attached to her, I have the Doom Hammer. I don't know why, but I just thought of like Doomslayer with the Doom Fist for some reason. Oh my god. So the Doom Hammer is a really interesting battle gear meant for Underworlders and Danians. Basically, for Danians, the equipped creature, let's see here, does, so for both, the equipped creature deals an additional 5 attack damage to Underworld and Danian creatures. If the equipped creature is a Danian, it has an additional Earth 5. If it's an Underworlder, it gets 50 power. So the big thing here, obviously, is additional 5 damage to other Danians, and of course, additional 5 damage to Underworlders, and also that good old Earth 5, which we're focusing on Earth, so that means she's going to be getting a lot of damage very easily, which is just wonderful. And then as for all the way in the back, I don't know how to pronounce this, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with CAC. I thought it would be pronounced another way, but I'm sure YouTube would not like the way that I thought it would be pronounced the other way. So CAC here, he's a Hive, he's a Muge. He has base 2 Mugic counters, forgot what they were called for a second there. You can use a Mugic counter to infect a target uninfected creature. While Hive is active, he gets an additional 15 energy, so that's pretty handy for if he does end up having to fight, which I hope he doesn't, because that would suck. Honestly, if he does end up having to fight, you're probably best off just quitting at that point. And then I got the Mephidian Baldir Flute on him. That way so I can sack off the Baldir Flute and give him another Mugic counter to be able to further infect things. Gotta love that infection. That can be taken multiple ways. There's so many jokes to be had. I love it. So yeah. There was another creature that I almost went, I think his name is Dubin. He has the exact same effect, but he has worse stats, so I went with CAC instead. So moving on to the attacks. I got 2 Tarantula Tackle, 3 build points, 15 Earth, 10 base damage. And then if your creature has, if the destroy all battle gear equipped to engage creatures with less than 50 power or speed. So if they have less than 50 power or speed, it destroys the battle gear, but however, this does a massive amounts of damage and just allows for a very easy finisher. And well, with the creatures, that's what, 25 damage right there. Very easy to finish off certain creatures. It is very much a kind of just finisher attack though. 2 Earth Pulse, very good attack here, just 1 drop, 15 damage, kind of goes without saying. 2 Gravel Grind, this card's pretty annoying. It does 5 base, 5 Earth, and then if your creature has Earth, you get to remove a card from the discard pile whenever it does damage. This is really handy for just going against other decks and stuff. Now, obviously, if your opponent doesn't have anything in the grave, but you do, then you kind of got to screw yourself over a little bit, which is not good, but hopefully that doesn't happen. 2, Infectious Implosion. 0 base damage, but 5 earth. And then if the engaged creature is infected, it does an additional 10 damage. Pretty handy. 2, Swarming Destruction, 5 base, 5 earth, and 5 water. If you control a non-Danian creature, it does 0 damage, but that doesn't matter because everybody's a Danian, so yay. 2, Valor Continuum. I couldn't read that for a second there. God, these cards do not want to stand on top of each other. These are new card saves and they don't like it when they're stacked. So the Valor Continuum, 0 base, but stat check or courage 60, deal 10 damage, and then you lose 60 courage afterwards. Really good card overall, just for base 10 damage basically. 2, Sunderground for just the finishing 10 damage on creatures with earth. 2, Clean Slide as further damage. I mean, it's just trying to go for as much damage as possible. 1, Shadow Strike. Everybody has higher courage. I keep wanting to say earth for some reason. Courage, so yay. 1, Mineral Mayhem, 5 base, 5 earth, and then you can choose for it not to do any damage to further increase your creature's earth by, your courage by 100. Why do I keep saying earth for courage? It also helps counter Von Blute decks, so that's pretty nice. I know some people probably would say playing 2 is a bit better, but however, in all honesty, since most people are playing with the current ban list, I figured, Von Blute probably not really that worried about. Moving on, we got 1, Manticore Might. Manticore Might is a 1-drop, 0 base damage, but however, you do 5 damage per each adjacent Manticore, which if Hive is active, then Alexia has a lot of Manticores on her. So that can do a lot of damage very easily if Alexia happens to be next to you and she Hive is active. That can build up very quickly. And then 1, Tecto Strike. It basically 3 base, 3 build, 10 earth, 10 base damage. Stat check courage 60, deal 10 damage. Really good card, but kind of sucks drawing it after you use Valor Continuum. So yeah. Moving on, I am to the locations. We got 2, the Infectorium. Initiative is courage, and then at the beginning of combat, you deal 15 damage to engage non-Danian infected creatures, which obviously you want to infect stuff before you go into combat, which would allow for a lot of initial damage right then and there. YgoAmino's Lookout. Basically, creatures with air gain earth, and if Hive is active, Danians gain air, which allows us for more fun shenanigans. I don't really rely on the if Hive is active, Danians gain air thing, but however, it is nice for if Nequin does lose his battle gear, he still gets earth thanks to YgoAmino's. Look out for that. Next up, I got 2, Danian Pillar Reservoir Liberated. Initiative is Danian, and then while Mount Pillar Reservoir is revealed, each player infects an uninfected creature. Sorry, when it's revealed, each player infects an uninfected creature he or she controls. Really nice for that, just right there, just getting more infections going on. Just gotta spread that infection. Next up, we got 1, Foothold Assault Trench. Basically, if all creatures a player controls are from the same tribe, deal an additional 5 damage with their attacks. Really good card. Overall, just get more damage in. 1, Still Chaw's Mine. I would probably play 2 if I had to, but oh well. Basically, initiative is courage, and then attacks that would deal more than 20 damage to creatures with earth deal 20 damage instead. 1, Rock River Canyon. Initiative is courage, and then creatures with earth gain 10 energy. Really good card, just right there. You know, you have initiative courage, which means, of course, my creatures will generally get to go first. And then, of course, an additional 10 energy for everybody, because main does not have enough 10 energy. Does not have enough energy. Then finally, 1, Gloomux Swamp for the additional damage, along with initiative being courage. So yeah, really trying to take advantage of the courage and the earth aspect of the deck. Finally, for the Mugic, which I'll be honest, I don't have very many good Danian Mugic, because again, Danians were never my priority as a kid, but I digress. First and foremost, I got 2, Infectious Melody. This card, basically you target up to You infect up to 2 target uninfected creatures. This allows for you to just get more and more creatures infected that maybe aren't able to get infected as fast with like Danian Carapace or CAC. Next up I got Ancestral Anthem. Basically it costs 0, so you can use it with anybody, and you remove a creature from your graveyard to be able to activate Hive right there. Pretty nice. It's not like the greatest thing in the world, but lets you, but if need be, you can get like rid of Hydrom or something. If he does die, which he probably won't. Next up we got Unbalanced Battle Song, which this card is actually hilarious because it's basically a second Hydrom. When you activate this, the caster gains 15 energy and the creature it's battling loses 15 energy. So if Hydrom is battling something really big, like let's say a Korra or something, right then and there Hydrom will gain 15 energy, and then Korra will drop by 15, and then you use this casting off of Hydrom. Hydrom gains another 15 energy, and Korra would lose another 15 energy, which would even out the playing field a little bit. I mean, you're still going against a Korra, and you're probably going to get Slash Clawed for 50, but it helps. Next up we got the Strain of Infection. It costs 0, and you uninfect up to 3 you uninfect up to 3 infected creatures. Target Danian creature gains a Mugic counter for each creature uninfected this way. Just allows for more infecting and just kind of getting rid of stuff and moving stuff around. Basically it just loads up CAC again, as well as also good old Alexia. And then I got 1 Coral of the Apparition. I would play probably 2 if I had to, but I'll just deal with the 1. Coral of the Apparition is a super rare. It needs 2 Mugic counters to be able to be used, and you sacrifice an unengaged mana board and return target Danian from your discard pile to play with no Mugic counters in the battle board space where the sacrifice mana board was. If you control only Danians, you can return it to any open space instead. It's basically a monster reborn for being able to tribute any creature, so that's pretty handy. Just, you know, get rid of a almost dead Hydrom to bring back a Machinaz or something, I don't know. You can just really just do some funny shenanigans with that. I like it a lot. And then that is it. That's my first real attempt at a Danian deck. I know it's probably not good. I know it's probably got some issues, and I don't really know where else to go off of from here, but what do you guys think? I should be getting some new stuff in the mail here shortly, so that'll be fun to tinker around with Danian some more. What do you guys think of this build? What do you guys think I should change around, tinker around with? Also, I know that like most people are switching over to Untap. I'm gonna I got 3 days off starting tomorrow, so I'm gonna really dedicate some time to learning how to play on Untap and use it. And also, I just bought Tabletop Simulator on the Steam Summer Sale, so I can use that as well. And I plan on doing some live streams shortly. I really want to get going and really expanding this channel more, especially just riding that hype train. I want to get Chaotic hyped up because it's awesome. So what do you guys think? Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. See y'all later. Peace out and goodbye.